What's up, guys? Rob D at Boiling Point LTC. This is take number 3. I'm trying to keep it to like 6-7 minutes, but they keep going to like 12 minutes. So let me speed through this real quick. I want to show you guys a couple little areas. I want to look at this key area. Where am I? This key area right about here. Right? This area here. And then this area here. So, wow, thanks, Siri. Thanks for ruining my video.
See any matching place.
Sorry about that, guys. So I made this tweet 5:30 about sideways movement, and it's kind of playing out pretty well. This sideways movement was about 27 days, and we're looking at doing the same thing again right above the 20-day moving average, which would actually give us a nice strong move to the upside once the Bollinger Band's tightened up a little bit. So it's going to take a little bit for this to come back up here. This moving average is kind of, going to float up here a little bit and flatten off, and then I'd look to see, I'd like to see a move to the upside. So I'll show you a couple targets once we get up there. But the volume profile is looking pretty good. We had some, not low, but we had lower than what we have now, lower volume than what we have now. Back when we made this move up, now we have much higher volume profile. We're going to consolidate. This volume is going to come back down, flatten out, and then boom to the upside. So on our spikes, you could see we're having some, increasing volume. So towards the end of June, we could have one of these type of moves. Let me show you the other chart because there's more data on that long term. So the Bitfinex, let's go to the weekly. Turn these off. So see this volume stick right here? This is what I'm looking for pre-halving, guys. That's why I don't think the halving pump is in yet. That's where we had crazy volume. So that is actually going to, that volume was basically 2018, 2017 volume. All right? We're nowhere near that. We did about half of that. So I'm looking for a volume stick somewhere up around here. This was 6.25 million. All right. This one was 3 million. So I'm looking at double. I want to see double volume on that pump. That's what I want to see. Then I'll know that, especially since we're pre-halving, we're very close to making that move, I think. This was our halving date, our first one. This was about 49 days prior. And let's go 49 days prior. Yeah, so June 24th. Things are really lining up, guys, because that puts us at June 24th. All right, and now let's look at how long we accumulated in that zone for. Let's go back to the other one. Let's go to the daily. So we're on Coinbase chart. We're going to go daily. And this sideways accumulation was once we broke over 50. So 50 was kind of like a, big area. We kind of held support over here, fell back down, and then we kind of tested to break up over it. Couldn't break it, came back down, finally popped up over it, and then now we back then we used it as support. So it's basically the same thing what happened with 100. We had a move up, which was this move up, came back down, tried to break it again, came back down, and then we finally broke up over it. So this is the area of accumulation I'm looking for. So basically this day here till the day we pumped, which was let's call it 27 days. That's going to put us here. And 27 days puts us on June 21st. So, there's definitely some time similarities there, guys. So, if we get some sideways movement, 2-3 weeks, it's June 3rd now. If we go sideways for the next, 14 to 20 days, I could see a really strong move to the upside, especially with this higher volume, coming in the past week, 2 weeks or so. The volume's going to die down naturally as accumulation occurs, and then we'll get that spike. So this week, this day, 1.4. Yeah, so we're definitely growing nicely. This volume stick, we could see something like a massive. It's probably going to be like 2 days where we just peak and then we come. There's a big sell off, and then that's where a lot of the volume's going to come in from. So we're looking at resistance areas around 120. Well, 120 is a little hard to get through. So the next one after that's about 128 to 130, 138 or so, 140. And then back here, that was also this one here. So there's a couple resistance areas around here where we just blew through. It was about 60 to 75 or so. And that, with the sideways accumulation we had, the amount of time we were there, we managed to accumulate enough to just blow through it. So if we do the same thing here, we're going to accumulate enough to just blow right through those next areas, 128 to 140. And then we're going to, hit this high confluence zone here, which I think is, like, say, 200 to the top of that, which was about 182, I believe, back in April. Yeah, 182.35. So let's accumulate the next couple weeks. Sideways movement between 100. I don't think it's going to go retest 100 again. We tested like 101 or something the other day. Yeah, 101.70. And then we're getting some higher lows in. So we're going to accumulate above this. And then in a couple weeks, I'm going to look to see if we break this area pretty easily. And then we head up to that next area. That's why I'm calling for 180, guys. I think just naturally there's going to be a sell-off at that area just with traders and stuff like that. Plus it's a high area of traffic. So, and then if we get to that area, see some major resistance, then we'll look for opportunities to buy the dip once it comes back down and retraces. We could get, say we get a 30 to 40% retrace from that area. We're going to look at, let's call it 190. So we're going to say 180 to 200. We'll call it 190. We get a 30 to 40% retrace. We're looking at hitting the top of this. We're going to test the top of this again. So it'd be like, what are we at now? 111, 180 to 200. Back down to that 125 range, and then some slow gradual growth from there. So it looks good. Volume looks good. The patterns are looking good. The timing is looking good. The RSI, it's a little high, but I like to see it over 60. I do, because that's when Litecoin gets its best moves. So right now our daily RSI 61.37. So that's a nice little area. I think it kind of floats in here a little bit and then, takes off. And then weekly RSI. Yeah, I mean, we're down. So we're going to get that. We're probably going to either get. Let's see where we could test. 65 maybe. Where we had a peak here and a peak here. So maybe test that as support on the RSI, which will give us 2-3 weeks of sideways accumulation, and then boom. It looks really strong, honestly. It's a good looking chart. Let's take a look at the bands on the weekly. So yeah, the bands are coming back up. They'll get tight once we move sideways for a few weeks. The daily bands, they're not tight yet, but they're not, they're not super overstretched. So these bands will come up and tighten once we get some accumulation, and then this 20-day moving average will kind of starting to flatten off once our data set is more, more in this range. Right now we still have some averages from this lower section here because this is basically your last 20 candles. once we get like 20 days of sideways accumulation, like 2-3 weeks, you're basically going to be up here, you know, at 110 range with the middle BB, the 20-day moving average. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. I like 180 as a sweet spot. Maybe we push the boundaries a little bit. Maybe we go to 200. But that's what I'm seeing right now. Hope you guys found some good information here, and I will keep you guys up to date. Probably weekly. I don't like doing them daily, but you know, on Mondays I'll keep you guys posted, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. So end of the month, hopefully. I'm looking for that nice pump, and here we go. Let's go Litecoin. See you guys later. Peace.